Am I live? Hello, am I live? I'm waiting for my wife to yell to say, hey, you're live. Honey, I guess I'm not live. Am I live? I'm a mess. I shouldn't have a podcast. I don't even know what I'm doing here. There I am. I see myself live. I can hear myself downstairs. You might want to bring the volume down. Folks, I'm really excited about having my next guest on the show, Bobby from, hold on, let me turn that off. Now I can see myself, from MTBOVER40. I think it's cute because I am in my 50s now, and I thought it was interesting that he started a channel for us older folk, if you will. And I wanted to have him on because he's an incredible content creator. It's disturbing the stuff he does. I mean, when he pops up, you're going to look at his background and then look at my background and then go, Johnny, why are you still doing this? So without further ado, let's add Bobby. Bobby, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm breathing. I'm breathing.
You're breathing.
Every day's a blessing.
There you go. I mean, you can't complain. No original complaints, as what a friend of mine used to say all the time when I talk. I say, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "No original complaints."
They're all the same.
So it's always good. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. This is I think this is my first time. I've done a podcast before, but this is my first time being a guest on a live stream.
Oh, stop it! Really?
Yeah.
I'm honored. Yeah. I'm honored. I was going to say I'm honored to have you, but gosh, I mean, I'm honored that I'm your first.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, ironically, it coincides with a day I did my first live stream as a host. So,
Mr. Trill Primp says hello.
Hey, all right. Hey, Trail Pimp.
Yeah.
How's it going?
You are already busy. Is your mouth dry? Are you burned out? Are you just kind of going?
Coincidentally, you posted that you said, hey, grab some popcorn and grab a drink. So I grabbed this.
Oh, the gentleman. I can't do the brown liquor. Good for you.
You can't do it. It's actually, between that and wine, I've had to kind of give up beer. Sad to say, I do drink a little bit of beer, but I'm trying to stay away from gluten and all that stuff, or not gluten, but more just the carbs.
Yeah.
So I've stuck to whiskey, Scotch whiskey, and wine, and so I decided, hey, we're gonna celebrate.
Salute.
You got the salute, yeah. So
there's a little something in there too.
This will last me the whole night.
Oh yeah, that's a sipping. Scotch whiskey. Now it's like that's what bourbon they got there. I'm not good with the.
Well, no, this is Tennessee whiskey. It's
whiskey.
It's Jack Daniels, the Gentleman Jack. So
I was
ironically, this was the bottle. This was the bottle I got when we wrapped our last film. So, the last day of filming, it's kind of a tradition of mine. It's a tradition of mine.
Bottle.
What's that?
It's such a huge bottle. I love it.
It is. Well, we had a large crew. I mean, we had about 40 people out there. So, it's a tradition of mine when we do a film in Tennessee that when we wrap the last day of filming, we do a toast, a shot of. Normally it's just regular Jack Daniels, but this time I kind of splurged and got the Gentleman Jack.
You shot the lock off the wallet and got yourself a nice one.
Yeah.
You're talking Scotch. I'm not a brown liquor guy, and I was in Scotland over the summer.
Yeah,
and we went to the the Scotch Whiskey Society, whatever, and did a tasting.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you go?
You can taste the burnt peat. It tasted like ground. It was harsh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a big Johnny Walker fan, so
hats off to you.
I usually have a bottle of Red Label that lasts me a whole year. So
nice.
Yeah.
So the beer thing is usually after a ride.
Yeah, beer. Something light, something easy you could chug down. And I can do it after a ride. I know guys that can do it during a ride. I can't do that.
No,
I can't do beer during a ride.
It's a celebratory PBR after my ride.
There you go. Although I'm a little bit of a beer snob, I can't do PBR. It's got to have some substance. It's got to have some body to it. You
Thick
know, so
IPA.
no, I'm more of a kind of a brown ale or a stout or something like that. So
Okay.
yeah. So I don't drink. I don't like I said, I can't drink beers as like I used to. But if I do, yeah, it's got to be something like that or a lager. Yeah. So
there we go.
Tennessee whiskey. That is that. Yeah. There you go, Lauren.
Trail Pimp likes PBR. Thank you, sir. The red, white, and blue. Never.
Trail Pimp's a PBR guy. Okay.
Air Blair loves a Screwball,
Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Ooh.
My brother-in-law got me into that. Have you had that?
No, I have not. A Screwball. Is that a mix or is that an actual?
It is a
bottle.
Butter whiskey. Yeah, it's called Screwball bottle. Have one downstairs, I think. And it tastes like peanut butter, which I can tolerate because I'm a big guy and I like peanut butter. And then they make another one. There's another one that's peanut butter and jelly. I haven't tried that yet, and I don't.
Oh wow! Okay,
tolerate
that is crazy. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, I don't. You know, like I said, a whole bottle will last me a year, so I don't drink a lot.
Yeah.
It's usually I'll have a glass on a weekend. Maybe 2 glasses on a weekend, but that's it. I just love the flavor. I love to sip it. Especially in winter. This is my favorite time to sip whiskey. So yeah. So I figured Jason doesn't drink, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have it during our own live stream.
But
this
is
this one I'm okay with.
Oh, this is funny. You were like, I came on here thinking we were going to talk bikes.
Hey, I'm one of those people like, we can talk about whatever, I don't really. Yeah.
That's what I love about this format. And it took me a while to get that to where it is kind of just a get to know the person behind the YouTube page and Instagram page.
Yeah, that's true. Cause you talk about bikes all the time. And even though on some of my videos, I try to work in a little bit of my history, backstory, kind of stuff like that. But honestly, it's like, you only have so much time. You don't want the video to be, 40 minutes long, 50 minutes long. So, you try to keep those episodes under, anywhere from like 15, 20 minutes. So yeah, you kind of have to get to the point. So live streams are great because you can do that. We can chit chat. We can have a little fun with it. You can, so it's a good time to get to know people on a little bit more personal level. So yeah.
You are going to sleep well tonight after doing 2 streams. Like, I don't want to, your wife's going to be like, can we talk? And you're like, no, I'm done.
Well, we actually got to chat. I was able to come home, grab some dinner real quick. We had an actual family dinner with the kids. So that was kind of nice.
I was going to ask you, family, kids, wife, children. What do you got? 2?
Oh yeah. I got 3 kids.
Wow.
Ages 5 to 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spread out.
So, yeah. Big spread. Well, the 5-year-old was a little bit of a surprise. So
honey,
we don't say it loudly, but she is our surprise. So yeah. But,
every family has one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's usually after the 2. It's like kids, families that have, more than 2, usually you're kind of like, okay, 3, 4, did you purposely stop? So
I purposely didn't have any.
Uh-oh.
I have
Did I lose
2
you?
dogs, though. We got MTB Nick.
I got the black screen.
What's up, Pete?
Oh, there you go.
Hi. So where do you live? You're Central Time. So
are you there?
Huh? Did you
Are
live
you there? I don't. Okay, there you go. I think.
Hi.
There we are. There we are. Okay.
Oh, I lost you now.
Uh-oh. Let me make sure I'm on the right network.
You popped up.
Let's see, I'll make sure I'm on. Oh, that's why. I'm not on my.
You're on your neighbor's network? You stealing Wi-Fi?
All right. I had to change. Some reason I was on my 2G network. Now I'm on my 5G. Hopefully that's faster.
Oh. Hi, Bobby.
Yeah.
You're back.
Hey, got me back.
I had to text
Sorry
my
about
wife,
that.
turn the AC on. The AC's not kicking. Yes, folks, I live in Miami. I need air conditioning.
No, I was on my 2G network, and I should have been on my 5G network. So
Come on, man. You're a professional.
that would have been faster. Yeah. You know.
Can you hear me now? Are you on Verizon?
Can you hear me now?
That's
Yes.
my brother-in-law. Hi. People are jumping on now. So where are you
Nice.
from? You're Central Time. Where are you at?
I am. I'm in Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just like over here from the tip of Florida, the northern part of Florida.
Yeah, we're literally an hour from the Eastern time zone. So we just squeaked in. I don't know why we just squeaked in.
Like if you were right here, it would be.
Yeah, literally here, and then we just did this for Nashville.
Oh
so, yeah. But no, I'm originally from Florida though, so I know what it's like.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm a Tampa boy.
Oh, okay,
So,
Tampa.
Born and raised. Yep, born and raised in Florida. Know the state very well. Was there when it was still kind of laid back, not as crazy it is. I went back to Tampa probably about 4 years ago for work, 3 years ago for work, and I couldn't believe it, how crazy it is.
There was no Tampa man and back in those days.
Yeah, Florida man, whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
every headline is Tampa or Florida man.
Oh man, yeah,
Robert
it's
Wendy's
nuts.
with an alligator.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I went to the Florida Keys. I couldn't believe it. There's a mall there. There's like a Home Depot. There's like all these chains. Like it's insane. Like when we used to go to the Florida Keys we used to go every year.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was not a chain store anywhere. I mean, maybe a Circle K.
Yeah.
But there was no chain. There was a McDonald's in Marathon. I remember that, and a McDonald's in Key West. But other than that, there was nothing. No mall. I can't believe they even shoved a mall inside of Key West.
No, it's crazy. The Keys are not the Keys. I mean, they kind of are. But people always talk about going to the Florida Keys, and they're thinking beaches and stuff. There's no beaches in the Keys. There are very few beaches.
There's very few beaches. No,
we went with a bunch of houses around it.
Yeah, we went there for Sportsman Week every year for lobster. So, we had a family we would go with, and we would go lobstering every July. Spend about a week down there and get as much lobster as we could get. Because I don't know if they still do it, but you could get like 2 coolers full of lobster, and that would last us all year.
Yeah, I've got friends that go out.
Yeah,
so that amazing. Can't get your lobster in Tennessee.
Well, we can get lobster. It's crazy expensive. I don't buy it. I mean,
so when did you get to Tennessee?
Well, like most people, I moved here for music. I left in 97. Maybe it was like early, 97. And moved here. Had a band. We got signed. My former life is music, and did the whole music life, touring, studio, recording, playing out live, doing shows, toured all over the United States and Canada, and did some international shows. And I mean, it was a crazy,
living that rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah. Not very glamorous at all, but
what did you play? What was the band's name? Would we know?
The band's name was called, well, in Florida, we kind of migrated a couple different names, but it ended up being Jesse's Vineyard. It was in the Christian rock realm.
Okay.
And we started in 92 and played all over Florida and South Georgia for 5 years, released a couple albums, and then we got noticed by some of the Nashville labels. And so we thought, okay, that's the next step. Moved to Nashville. We got signed to a major label back when you needed a record label back then. Nowadays, of course, you don't.
SoundCloud.
Yeah, showing my age here, but back then you really still needed a label to be with. And so we signed to a 3-album deal, and then did a whole tour, and then it went downhill from there. That's when
it went downhill. That's
when the work started. Yeah. So it it was a pretty crazy life. And, 9/11 happened, and then I stayed on the road for a little bit after that. But, I started thinking about family, started thinking about, okay, this is, I'm making enough to survive. But if I want to, if I really want to, take it to the next level, I just didn't see music. I mean, of course I wanted it to be, but it just really wasn't working out that way. And so, I kind of fell into, film and video. I picked up a camera, started working with other artists because music was my life. And so I started doing little EPKs and video promos for other bands.
Oh, wow.
Started taking their photos and doing some music videos, and started working with other friends of mine that, were already in the film and video business. And I started doing music videos, and then that morphed into commercial work, and that morphed into documentaries. And now, it's kind of, I still do some commercial work. But I'm also doing films and episodical content. So, yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a videographer professionally as well. And you said you do documentaries. I've always, but I've kind of felt stuck in the news realm.
Yeah.
It's hard to break out. Those constant paychecks are nice to have.
They're nice. Let me tell you.
And I don't actually do your car accidents or your shootings. I work in a special project unit.
Okay.
At a station here in Miami. So we do more long formatted, investigative stuff kind of things. But it's wow, you're living the dream.
Well, like you said, the constant paychecks are nice. Well, I don't have those. so it is and it isn't. I mean, it can be lucrative, and then other times it's like, okay, do I change careers? Nope. Okay, I got another job. All right. So
probably one of those where it rains, it pours, but then there's a drought.
Yeah. I pay myself the same salary every month, whether we got a lot of work coming in or it's kind of skimping by, because you never know when that's going to happen, and it's like that everywhere. I mean, it's like music. Like you look at music and you say, look at all these artists, and they're they got all this fame and fortune and blah blah blah. Well, it's just still a very select few. And the same thing with making films. It's like, well, you got the Steven Spielbergs, you got all these famous people and directors, and well, again, that's very few. So the rest of us have to carve it out, and we have to just decide it's still a business, and we still have to work wisely and make decisions that are going to be financially fit for us. And but when things like COVID happen, it's like there was nothing. There was nothing involved. So
Venicava mountain bike MTB. It did start at 8 Eastern time, buddy.
Is it 8?
All these great creators.
It's 8 somewhere. It's 8 o'clock in Eastern time. It's 8 o'clock in Miami.
Look at these guys.
Freaking East Coast time.
What's up, Johnny? You and Bobby.
Yo, MTB Raging Cajun. How's it going?
Straight line's kicking. Venicava.
Oh, we got straight line on?
Yeah.
Straight line, man.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Over 40. Look, right.
How's it going? Yeah.
Look, first off, I'm gonna point out, for your age, my God, you've got a head of hair, sir. Look at that. You have like 5 hairs per follicle. I'm so jealous right now.
That's the Hungarian and Native American in me. So yeah. My grandfather died at 94, and he still had like half full hair. So, I'm not hurting. That's for sure.
He can't hang but a minute. Shooting a video with Brett Unspoken.
Nice.
Unspoken.
Sweet.
Nice. Okay, but thanks for joining. We appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah.
JLB, MTB. For your age.
For your age. Ouch.
Exactly.
JLB was on our live stream, so it's good to see him again. How old exactly? Who? I'm 48. So
look at him. He's a baby.
Yeah. I'll be I'll be turning the 49. This is my last year of the 40s. So
you're gonna have to change that name. Totally enjoyed the interviews and just discovered mountain bike over 40. Thank you. Remember to like and subscribe.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Sweet.
So we were talking movies.
Movies.
You were just working on a movie for a while, just recently, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just got off of a film. Yep. Oh, sorry. I was supposed to elaborate, wasn't I? Yeah. So I just finished a film. Yeah. So I just finished a film. It's called Savage Lands. We shot it all here in Tennessee. It's basically a rebirth of the Davy Crockett story, you know, his whole story. Now it's not, you know, it's historical fiction. So it's not, you know, it's not like a documentary or anything like that. We're mixing fact and fiction and telling and basically rebirthing his story. You know, all he kind of know is the Disney version of Davy Crockett. So we're kind of revitalizing that in a more raw telling. So if you know the film like Revenant, you know, it's kind of in that style where you know, you get a new sense of who Davy Crockett was, and it's exciting because this is the first of hopefully many. So this was the first one to get kicked off, and I've been working with the director on this film since its inception. So back in 2018, we started concepting this story, and so it's exciting. 4 years later, we finally got it filmed, and actually the edit locked today. So I'm hoping to see it sometime either late this week or next week. And then, then we still got more. We got music, we got special, I say special effects, but it's more cleanup. We don't really have a lot of special effects in this.
Color grading, stuff like that. Yeah,
color grading. We got remove certain ladders that got into a shot, or some things like that always happens. You know, you'd be surprised by how much that stuff happens. But so it's exciting. So we just finished up. Who was that? Oh, MTV Raging. Yeah, man. Thanks. Appreciate you loving the videos.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And then who knows where it lies? We haven't actually sold the film yet. So, but we're talking to Netflix and Paramount and, Lionsgate. We're talking to Lionsgate as well. So lots of different options.
Wow. Now, are we working with any names we would know as actors, or
you would probably know them? I don't know if you know them by name, but William Moseley is our lead character. He's Davy Crockett. He's best known. So he just did a film with Mel Gibson that just came out called On the Line, and that was released like in November, I believe. So he co-starred. Yeah, he co-starred with Mel Gibson on that one. He's also kind of best known for his role and Chronicles of Narnia series.
Yeah, okay, I know. I've seen him. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was the older brother, the oldest brother, Peter, in Chronicles of Narnia. So that's what he's best known for. And he's done a lot of stuff. He did 4 seasons of The Royals, which was on I don't remember if that was on Netflix or Amazon, but one of those. And he's done lots of different parts, for several movies. So he was excited. He was a great guy to work with. I can't say enough about William Moseley. I got to know him personally, got to work with him for 10 weeks, from the day he set foot in Tennessee till the day he left. And great guy. I've known a lot of actors and personalities and, people, in the public life, and he's so down to earth.
Nice.
It was great to see that. Great to see people still like that, So,
and we'll get to mountain biking. I promise you.
Isn't this a mountain biking thing?
Let's just catch up. My wife here, she'll chime in a lot. You'll see that last name, Uzeric. That's my wife. Mountain biking still breathing.
Still breathing.
You can do that. My sister is always late as usual. The only people that are subscribed to my channel are my family.
It'll get there, dude. It will get there. Trust me.
No. Then just discovered your channel thanks to Johnny. New sub. Can't wait to. Thanks for the plug. It makes me look.
There you go. Yeah, man.
And then we got Run Bike Mike. He's waving. He got an incredible channel.
Nice.
It's stupid. Straight up. I got to go back to Venice. Sorry. He's a shredder. I just started watching all his videos the other day, i.e., look for an email from me soon.
Sweet.
She does. I'm afraid to have her on my show because she'll steal it. Facts.
Just take it back.
So I promise I'm listening to you. I'm learning, but the comment thing, I'm still, this is like 5 or 6 and I'm still having trouble.
Oh, I know. It's hard. It's hard to read it.
Mountain biking. I was going to talk about celebrities. You're talking about down to earth. I've interviewed lots of celebrities, and you just found that out earlier as a movie critic. Some of them are really, I won't say names, but it's like you're bothering them.
Yeah.
And I guess when you get bigger, you have a lot of yes people around you.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my favorites and my wife's favorite was Anthony Mackie. He's
I know the name.
He was in the Marvel movies. He was the guy who was Captain America's buddy.
Okay. Yeah.
I interviewed him, and he was the most. You gotta love when you meet those. Yeah. That are so appreciative and just know where they came from. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so rare. It's because I mean, even I got a thank you card from William Moseley. Like a thank you card. Our lead actor,
thanked you.
He thanked me. So it's that shows you something. That shows you the genuine heart of people. And it's really awesome to see people still like that in the movie industry, because it's hard. It's hard to see it. Luckily, we were blessed with a large. I mean, a lot of our cast was out of state. We did have some in-state people, but most of our cast was out of state. Even Cole Meany, who's kind of best known for Con Air and Layer Cake, and he was O'Brien on the Star Trek Deep Space Nine series, so his face. You might not know his name, but his face. So we had a huge, pretty diverse cast, and so it's good when you can see that people are still down there. And we were really blessed with some really great people that showed up, that worked hard, that were also appreciative and just down to earth. And so, it's great to still see that. So
perfect. And scene. Almost 30 minutes in. Let's get to the mountain biking.
Get mountain biking.
So when was this? COVID? You said, I want to buy a bike.
Yeah. Well, it actually started back in January before lockdown. So January, I was at my doctor. I hadn't seen a doctor in 5 years. I was, 45. My doctor was like, okay. I was like, I'm not sleeping well. I'm not losing weight. And I'm like, I got to do something. What do I do? And he goes, well, first we got to get you sleeping well. So we worked on that. And then he says, and you got to start exercising. I said, well, I don't like the gym. I said, every time I try running, I sprain something.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I'm going to die every few feet. So he says, well, find something you just love. Find something you want, you could really get into and do that. He goes, I don't care how strenuous it is. Just make sure you're moving. And so I thought about it, and I said, ever since I moved to Nashville in 1970, in fact, when I left Florida, I bought a mountain bike. I bought a mountain bike when I moved here, and it sat and collected dust because as soon as I moved here, we got signed. I mean, literally within months, we got signed, and I'm on the road.
Wow.
So it literally just sat, in my apartment or wherever I moved to. It just sat there, and I never used it. And when my wife and I got married years later, I finally just sold it. And so, that was right when we got married. But I was like, I told my wife, I said, I always wanted to try mountain biking. And so then COVID happened, and you couldn't find a mountain bike under, $5,000 in any local mountain bike and local bike shop.
Yeah, that's why I'm riding what I'm riding.
So, I looked on Facebook Market, I looked on Craigslist, I looked everywhere. And I finally found, I even was watching one of the channels. I can't remember which one it was, but he talks a lot about budget bikes, even Walmart bikes, and, kind of, reviews them. and talked about one of these Schwinn bikes that was, it's not great, but if you're going to buy a box store bike, this is the one to get. And I found one in Indianapolis, 4 hours away from me.
Wow.
And I messaged her because you couldn't find them. I couldn't find them in Georgia. I couldn't find them in Alabama. I couldn't find them in North Carolina. Couldn't find them in Mississippi, Memphis. I mean, everything within a few hours, just they weren't there.
I feel you.
So I messaged this lady. I says, I'm going to drive 4 hours, probably 4.5 hours. Don't sell it. I'm on my way. I will even give you money if you need it. And she says, no, I will hold it if you can get here tonight. I text my wife. I says, I am going to Indianapolis to go get a bike. And she was like, are you crazy? Are you serious? You're going to drive all the way to Indianapolis? I said, that's the only thing. I don't have $4,000 to buy a bike.
Yeah. So
I did, and got back like at 11 o'clock that night. Finally got back home, and that's what I got. So I started as a Schwinn something. I don't remember even what it was, but yeah, I'd used that for months. And I quickly realized two things. One, I love mountain biking. Two, that bike was not going to last.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so that started the journey. That started, me, on this crazy journey here almost 3 years later. So
I love the COVID story. Cause I've been riding for now, I think it's like 24, almost 25 years now. And, COVID hit when my bike started crapping out on me. It was one of those where you don't want to put the money into the bike because it's not going to make it any better. It's probably cheaper to buy a bike.
Yeah.
So I went and I didn't know the stores were empty. I walked in and there was like $12,000 and, another $9,000 bike. And then you had the 200.
Yep.
And I was like, as soon as I found a store, I would go to every store out on Stories. We would drive around and I would pop into a store. And I popped into a store and I already had a specialized rock hopper. I'm a hardtailer.
Yeah.
I said, do you have one of these in large? They had an extra large. I said, do you have a large? And they said, we've got one in our store in Virginia. I just called. And I threw my credit card at it and said, I'll take it. And they said, it's $100 shipping. And I said, I gave you my credit card. I need a new bike.
Yeah.
Now I've, because that was the only bike I could get. And I've just now purchased a new full suspension, first time in my life, 25 years of riding. I'm going full squish.
Nice.
I'm a little nervous. So at what point did you say, oh, was it this one? Kev MTV, Kev Central?
Yes. Kev MTV. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah. Kev Central. Yep. Thanks, Straight Line. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's Kev Central. That was the one. That was the one I was watching. And I got a 1950s Schwinn Plat Phantom. Nice. Ooh, I bet that's pretty. Better made of gold. Full squish, better made of gold.
Yeah, it was a bad day when I bought it. We had a bike stolen at the same day that I hit purchase on the new bike. We had an e-bike stolen in my front here.
Oh man,
neither here nor there. Yeah. So at what point did you go, okay, done with this Fisher Price, my first bike that took you forever to get, that you said Fazari?
Yeah. So, bike shops were still depleted.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew I couldn't go through a local bike shop. So I just started looking online, and I'd seen several YouTube videos, people talking about direct to consumer. And I quickly saw, Fazari, Common Saw, and YT. And to be honest, YT was kind of front, on my lead. That were the kind of the top ones I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that Jeff C 29er. But when I could finally, pull the trigger on it, you couldn't even order it. You couldn't even back order it. And so that left me with going to Fazari, and I'd always, it was a hard choice, but I really liked what Fazari was. I liked their kind of persona that they portrayed. It's all about getting out the adventure lifestyle, all that stuff, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of cool clothing. And so I saw they're also based in Utah, and I got, cool here. So I was like, oh, cool. They're cool. They're both in, Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of little ties in. And so, and I could get the Abajo within 6 weeks. So the Abajo Peak was the first full suspension bike I ordered, and then the rest is history. But yeah, the online, the direct consumer, and again, I wasn't familiar with buying a bike locally, so it wasn't like I had a history with buying bikes locally and having a bike shop, where I could buy a bike from them. If something went wrong, I just take it back to them.
Yeah.
I was never familiar with that. So buying online direct to consumer didn't really faze me at all. I just thought it was cool, and the price point, the spec bike, what you got for the price was just unbelievable. So yeah, I pulled the trigger, and actually I got it in 4 weeks. They were able to get it to me a lot quicker. And yeah, so that really just kind of started the journey of going from box store bike, destroying. It was funny. The last ride I did with that Schwinn, I destroyed the fork. So perfect timing. The last ride, about to head to the trailhead, I did a little jump on it and just destroyed the fork on it. So perfect timing.
This whole direct to consumer. Sorry. And they want to see you anyway. You should just pop on. She crawls in. This direct consumer thing, she's ridiculous.
Anywho, if my 5-year-old was here, she'd probably be doing similar things. She just her head would pick up.
She just brought me another drink just in case.
Nice.
So I'm new to this direct to consumer. I was actually going to make a reel about how it was like buying bikes for the last 25 years. You walked into the shop and there was, can I get the Specialized, or let me get the Cannondale? I mean, those were your options.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of options down here. Most of the stores, or a Trek.
Yeah.
And now you've got this direct to consumer, and your 3 that you had mentioned were the 3 that I was kind of juggling around.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know that I even put it out there in the ether. Like, I don't know anything about these bikes.
Yeah.
And my buddy has a YT, and a few of these kids that I know on here have and speak highly of it. So
yeah.
When YT fit my fits well with my wallet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I looked at your Fazzaris, and once you start building it, it got a little. But I know a few people that have speak highly of that bike. I mean, you've owned how many so far?
Well, so I bought the Abajo Peak, and then I got the LaSalle Peak, and I had both for a while. And then when I got my Wire Peak, the e-bike, I sold the Abajo, and then I haven't revealed it yet, but I just upgraded the frame of my LaSalle Peak. So I had the Generation 1 LaSalle Peak. I just bought the Generation 2 frame. And so I recently just moved everything over, because everything I had on the V1 was perfectly fine for the V2. The only thing I had to change out was the shock, but it came with the new shock already. So because it's a 170 millimeter shock, so versus the 150 on the LaSalle, so the version 1 LaSalle. So I just finished building that up. Literally finished it yesterday, so haven't even revealed it yet. But so I still only have 2 bikes, but I've gone through 2 versions of LaSalle and an Abajo Peak. And honestly, I kind of miss the Abajo Peak. The Abajo Peak was more of a trail bike, whereas the LaSalle is more of an enduro bike. And for here around Nashville and for Middle Tennessee area, just a short travel trail bike is perfectly fine for most of this stuff. And I miss the speed and the agility of the Abajo Peak, because LaSalle, it being a longer wheelbase, more of an enduro bike, I don't get that, as much. But one of these days I'm thinking about doing, another trail bike. But that's when the wallet can expand a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Because you travel a lot riding. I guess having
yeah.
a little something here. I'm stuck in Miami, South Florida. It's a lot of techie trail, but I'm not climbing, and I'm not going down anything.
Yeah.
So I went with more of a trail bike.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating how quickly, like you're going, this is you 2 years.
Yeah. 2.5. Yeah. Almost 3.
And you just got bit. Like it stung you hard, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It, my wife calls it my other wife, so, yeah, I got addicted. I think it's interesting, because my wife and I have had conversations about this, because at first she was not really thrilled about me spending all this time, because I wasn't working. Like when I first started mountain biking, I wasn't really working. There was no work to be had. Everything was shut down. There was no work, no commercial work. Films had shut down. Networks had shut down. Nobody was really doing much. So all I had was this. And so I hit it with full vigor, and it rekindled my youth in this, because I used to be very active. When I used to skateboard, BMX. I had a 3-wheeler back when 3-wheelers were legal. So I was a very outdoors type person already.
You already love dirt.
I love dirt. And even in Florida, there's a lot to be had. I was in a very rural area of Tampa. So we had trails, we had, dirt roads, we had all that stuff around me. So, we could do a lot outside. And so I think getting on a bike rekindled that for me. Like I'm outside again, and I haven't experienced this since I was a young teenager. And so, and I just wanted it all. I wanted all that back. I felt like all that left, when you become an adult, you have responsibilities, you have a family, all that kind of leaves you a little bit.
Yeah.
So getting on a mountain bike and being in the woods and out of, in the middle of nowhere and all that stuff, it rekindled that. I mean, I wanted as much as I could, and I felt like I should have done this earlier. I should have got on a mountain bike, earlier in life. And so I wanted as much of it as I could, and then, my wife was just like, are you ever going to do something? Are you ever going to come back home? What are you going to, what are you going to do? And so, to her point, it's like, okay, I can't, I've got responsibilities. I can't be out riding 4 days a week, so, so we talked about, but, she started to understand, especially I think so much for men is that, and, we have this adventurous bent to us, and that we need that. We crave that no matter what age we are. And it starts when we're kids, but it continues with you in life. And so I think she started to understand that, and, we talked a lot about it, and I started to understand where she was, and she started to understand where I was. And so I don't ride as much as I did. Obviously with COVID, I'm much busier now. I've got work now. And so I can't do that as much. But I do still try to crave it as much as I can, and so
it was the camaraderie, I think, is a lot of it too, or the guy, or girls. Cause I've talked to a lot of girls that are mountain biking. It's that group mentality or something like that. It's just
absolutely.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because when you're a kid, you hang out, you have always a clique that you're with, right? You always have that small group, neighborhood friends, school friends or whatever. You have that clique, and it's kind of the same thing. Like that was one interesting thing when I started mountain biking. Is like I wrote Jason involved into it, but then we started meeting people, and they were very open about it. They were all like, hey, hey, by the way, you might want to look at this, or you might want to do this, or here's what I found helped me. And then it just started, wow, there's a group of people that you started to see on the trails. And then you find out, whoa, there's a Facebook group of mountain bikers. Just, we have a Nashville mountain bike, Facebook group. Whoa, there's more people, you know, and then you started growing and growing, and then you start riding with other people, and then wait. It's like worldwide, you know, and then you say you're like, and then you start meeting people, like, you know, talking to people all over the country and even internationally, you know, guys like Straight Line, who's chiming in now. It's like, you know, him and Colorado Kid and you know, Bobo, riding with Bobo. It's like all these people, like, you're like, these are all over the place. And you're like, but you can talk to them, you know, and you can literally, like, you know, hey, you know, what are you doing and what's going on? Hey, I saw you on that trail, man. That was awesome that you did that. You know, it's like, whoa, it's just a whole nother world that it opens up. So
that's what my wife, I mean, I'm a solo rider because the people that I rode with have moved and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But this community is what you're talking about. And the people over on that side of the screen that are chiming in, and the people that I've met doing this, like you're throwing out other YouTubers' names. It's amazing how, and I say this in every chat I do, like, my wife loves this community. She's like, I can't believe, like, I get texts from these people. Like, I've made friends through this this same thing that we love. And yes, the Izzo, I hope is great, because that's the one I bought. I bought the YT Izzo, and Straight Line MTV. There's a lot of these chats with the Izzo is awesome. Yes, I hope it's good.
Yeah. Straight Line says to travel to Auburn. I would love to do that. I need to do that. And
if Straight Line says the Izzo is good, that guy, I don't. Just constant bikes. Do you know his content?
Okay, I got to know from Straight Line. Like, I don't want to turn this into he's now the guest, but how in the world does he do all those bikes? Exactly. I've already. Dude, you gotta message me either on Instagram or whatever. I want to know. I want to know how you get all those bikes. No. You watch my chat with him. Oh, okay. You did a chat with him already. Ladies and gentlemen, Trails and Ales, how's it going, y'all? He's a South Florida rider, fairly new nice. To the YouTubes. I love Trails and Ales. That's awesome. That's an awesome. What do you think? I think he's bringing this up. Is that for me? This is a big thing for me. It's good therapy. Oh man, yes. Big time. You are right here. Nothing else matters. Yep. It is a therapy. I will say that, because when work stopped for me in COVID, like it was hard. You know, first of all, you felt like you were the only one. But then you realize you're not the only one, but it still doesn't feel any different. Like, you still feel like you don't have value, you don't have worth. And so riding, you know, thankfully, that was my therapy. I got to get out. I got to not worry about, you know, that I'm not working or I'm not getting a paycheck or anything like that, and be able to just kind of reset. Honestly, like, you know, it's just a refresh, and I felt better. I came home feeling better about myself. I came home feeling better about my marriage. I came home feeling better about my family. Like, I had energy and all those things. And so it is total therapy. I mean, Trails and Ales is dead on. I can't stress that enough. More so than anything else. What it provides exercise. Yes, it provides, you know, better getting healthy and all that. Yes. But honestly, like, it resets your mind. Yeah. I went for a ride last week, and it's been a minute, you know, just December. It's crazy. So I got out, I was off. I got out, and I felt so cleansed. Yeah. It was the best feeling. It was just. It is. It's great. You just feel invigorated. All right, I got to know real quick, not to divert too much, but dude, I got to see that tattoo on your right arm. The turtle. Is that a Mayora style? Yeah. That is cool, man. I drew that myself. You did it yourself? Yeah. No, I drew it. Oh, you drew it. And that's my. I was gonna say that was gonna be hard to tattoo yourself. That's my dog. Nice. Yeah, I got a few. I can never commit to a tattoo. No, don't show me that one. I don't want to know. I only have them on the right arm. Until the right arm's full, I don't go anywhere else. I've always wanted to get a tattoo, and I can never commit. Like, I don't know why. I can't. There's so many cool designs, and I'm like, oh, I love this design. I love this style. I want this writing. I want it to mean something.
I'll just do it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
They all mean something.
Yeah.
So you're riding a bike.
Yeah.
You got yourself a Fazari. You're like, oh my God, this is so much different than this, Schwinn or whatever.
Yeah.
You started this.
Yeah.
What? And I'll remove it real quick because I want to see your luscious locks. What possessed you? How far into riding did you say, I'm going to put a GoPro on my chest and I'm going to create this incredible graphic behind you and studio look? Like, how far into that was that creation?
Well, honestly, like I wasn't working, and so I was like, I got to do something creative. Like I was writing scripts and things like that, because wanted to keep fresh and keep doing what I'd normally do, but I was like, I got to feel like I'm creating something, and so I already had GoPros because I used them in my documentary work. And so I already had cameras, already had lights, I already had everything, So I was like, I think I'm gonna just record this. I'm gonna record it as a journey. It's just me getting started and figuring things out. And it was more of just like, I'm gonna do this for now, just so I can keep myself busy. And I really didn't have an agenda. I didn't have an idea. Me as a documentary filmmaker, or I've done documentaries, it's not always about the end. It's always about the journey. And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna show this. I don't know if this is even going to be of value to anybody. And so I just started doing it, and I kind of showed everything. I showed the wrecks. I showed, what I'm working on. I showed, everything. This is how I'm doing it. And if anybody has questions about it, hit me up. We'll talk about it and make it a discussion. And it's still not huge or anything, but it was surprising to see that it grew to what it is now. And I didn't realize how many people were in my position. And everybody was saying there is nobody from this perspective talking about mountain biking from this perspective, just getting started in your midlife. Yeah. And so I just said, okay. And I'll keep doing it. Even when work started happening and things like that, I was like, I'll keep doing it because I still love riding. I still have all the gear. It may not be as frequently as it was before, but we'll keep making episodes and talking about it and things like that. And so, yeah. And like literally this past year, end of 2022, it kind of really grew. I hit my 1,000 subscribers, I think back in July or August or whatever.
Good for you.
And then all of a sudden it tripled, within a few months. And so, so I'm really appreciative. I still almost every month go, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to talk about. It seems like I'm just like, what's that?
I find that funny because the one thing that I do that drew me to your page is it's not like I got my GoPro, we're about to hit, death, whatever, and I'm going to spend it with my buddies. You actually sitting there where you are right now and you tell a story. And I guess being a documentarian and a filmmaker, I really appreciated you sitting down and letting people know that even if you're not good, or if you're just starting out, you always mention in almost every one of your videos, it's the journey.
Yep. And
it's the talking to us that like you're doing now, you're talking to us. I think you've got a talent for doing so. And it's very refreshing to watch your videos, is how you intro and outro all of it with a story.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to, it's like it, not everything can be, a great, as often as these videos are, not everything's going to be great. Not everything's going to be, deep or anything like that. But I always try to make sure that whatever video I'm doing, like it's got to be something for somebody. Like this was something for me, so I want this to be something for somebody else. And so this is what I learned. And so I always try to say, you know, I wanted to do this. We went here or we rode this. This is what I learned. This is, you know, and sometimes it's conquering a fear with jumping, or maybe it's just, you know, discovering a new place. But either way, you know, it's, I want to bring you along. I want to bring you along in this journey, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, you know, and if I can convey that in some way through this, then great. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of videos out there. I mean, it's great videos. Like I love Brian Kent, you know, Brian from BKXC, amazing stuff. I mean, I envy him because when he did the 50 state shred, I was just sitting here, you know, at my computer. I'm like going, oh man, I want to do that. That looks amazing, you know? And so, you know, you kind of look at that and go, well, I can't do that. So, you know, what is it going to be different for this? And I always try to keep in mind that, you know, I constantly get great feedback from people going, this is what I need. I need it from this perspective. I love that you're out there. I love that you're doing this. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing it, and I'm going to bring you along. And I have big plans. There's more stuff I want to do, and I'm working on that. And it's hard because it's like I really want to launch this stuff, but it just takes time. You know, time to as anything. Yeah, I mean, because you know, part of my job is development. You know, and I'm most of the stuff that I do I can't show because it's always like it's in a work and a progress, and it takes time, takes months, years, you know, sometimes for these things to develop. So a lot of stuff I don't show just because I can't. But you know, yeah, there's some big plans coming down that the journey is going to be even greater. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's, you know, I've been working on stuff for over a year now.
Yeah.
Are
we looking at something more like bigger than your like typical 10-minute video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Give it away, because I know you've talked about some things on your live chat today, and on other. Yes, he was on another live stream. That you.
Thanks, Straight Line. I appreciate that.
That you have something in the works.
Yes.
That you can't talk about.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I gave hints. You know, we did a trip in Guatemala, and so that gives you a little bit of indication, you know, of what it's going to be like. But yeah, it's bigger. It's going to be, you know, more content.
Love it.
And so yeah, so those things like I'm really excited about, because I think even though it's going to be bigger, it's going to still be relatable. And I that's one thing I'm really trying hard to do, is like not lose the everyday person that's, you know, riding bikes, you know.
Love it.
You know, it's not for people who are, professionals who are shredding everything, that can accomplish everything. I want this still to be very much for the everyday rider. And so, so I'm really excited about it. Like I said, it's been working for a year. There's been ups and downs. Last year it was up really big, and then it tanked. And so I'm bringing it back up now. So already you're in discussion. So
I'm sensing something fantastic. I'm not going to get my hopes up because I don't get let down.
I don't want to dive in too much, because it's like if it doesn't happen, then we're like, oh man, this episode stunk. It didn't result. But yeah, but just to say, like, yeah, I am. There is more to come. So I'm not saying that the stuff I've been doing is going to be. It's always going to be the same. I'm always about, okay, I see that people like this. I see that there's an audience for it. And so I want to make it bigger. I want to make it more grand. I want to make it more involved. If I can, if that's makes sense.
Man, you're just dropping a big teaser on us, buddy. Boom, and then we're just gonna be sitting there like this. Like,
and then if it doesn't work, I'm going to be looking back at this going, oh gosh, what was I doing?
Just don't put it out if it doesn't work. Here's something. We were going back to this about, oh God, this is where I get really bad at doing live streaming. You're talking about leaving the spills and the, first off, your opening.
Yeah.
Is that inspired by a Ridley Scott opening?
No. So that's funny because I designed the logo, but my friend who did the animation, his name's Bo Latham. What's interesting is that I gave him a video clip of my friend Brent riding on a trail. We did some filming, when I first started riding, and I was filming my friend Brent weaving through these trails. And so I gave my other friend who's an animator, I gave him that clip of him riding. And so he basically took that and basically just frame by frame did a sketch around it. And so, so in a way, it's my friend Brent riding.
Wow.
And then he just animated it to jump on the logo.
Because I was watching it and I'm like, what does that look? That looks like, that looks kind of, and the crow that comes out in the Ridley Scott movies. Maybe being a filmmaker. Where's the video that I really, really, really love? They're all fantastic. The one that had you questioning.
Oh, okay. Keep going up. Yep. Right there on the left.
This This is so real.
Yeah.
We've all had those days where you wrote, I just lost it. You rode and then it was just, I can't do it anymore. I don't, what am I doing kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, well, first of all, I probably picked the worst day to do that trail. It's not that it's only 10 miles, it's only a 10-mile loop. But it is a lot of climbing. And, but I felt like I was in a condition where I was capable of doing it. I just take my time. And, I took my time, obviously, but I was worn out. Like I was worn out a lot quicker than I thought I'd be. And it just took me way longer to complete that trail. And so, yeah, I literally was like, this is, trippy.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm still, like I said, I'm new at this.
No, yeah, no problem. But yeah, I had gotten to a point where I was like, I really don't know if I can continue. And I had to, because it's a loop. So you got to get all the way. I mean, and you have to go one way direction because it's by day. Odd days are one way, even days are another. So I had to complete it.
You were like, what day is today?
I'm like, what day is today? And I was like, odd days, even days? I was like, oh, the date, odd date, even date. But anyway, but yeah, it's and then it poured down rain.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you were struggling uphill, you're breathing hard, it's hot, and then it's raining. It was like one thing after another.
I literally called my wife. I FaceTimed her and I said, babe, this is what I'm in. So just know, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I got lightning all around me. She's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know, but just know it's going to take me some time. I'm going to be, because I was over 2 hours away. This trail is Buzzard's Roost. It's in North Georgia. So it's south of Chattanooga. So Chattanooga is already 2 hours from us. And so it's just a little bit south of that. So it's like 2.5 hours to get there. And so, it's a day trip.
It's a day trip. And then you're stuck in all that crap. And then you're like, I mean, I was watching it and I was like feeling for you. Like you're walking it. And like, I have no lungs. I'm from Miami and I was feeling you. And then the rain and then it was one thing. And then you're stopping and you're talking. That's what I like about it. It's the journey.
It's the journey. It's the journey. And like you said, we've all been there. Like we've all had those rides,
they're just sucking you dry.
And even though, if you haven't had one of those rides, you're going to have one of those rides, And so it's like,
don't let it ruin it.
just know it's going to happen. Can you talk about your narrative voiceover process?
I want to get some of these not out of the way, but in the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you put together your storytelling aspect?
How do you aspect of your videos? I mean, do you ahead of time sit back and say, I want to make a video about this, or do you go do the ride and then come back and go, this is what?
Yes. Sometimes I'll know ahead of time, like, okay, I'm going to do a video on this, but I often don't know what it is going to be. Most of the time I just put the GoPro on and record. And sometimes I'll talk through it and sometimes I don't. It just depends, especially if it's a new place. You won't really hear me say much because I'm just like loving it. I'm experiencing it. So a lot of those videos, like the Bentonville video, like those are ones I'm probably going to voice over, just because I don't say much. I don't talk about it. I hand it to Brian from BKXC. That guy just talks and talks and talks. I'm like, dude, how do you do that? I'm so winded. I can't. Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's why I don't do riding videos. I'm going to start because I've got the GoPro 11 and I might. But nobody wants to hear me breathe. I'm good for 60 seconds on a reel or a short.
Yep.
After that, you're hearing me suck wind for an hour.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And in fact, a lot of times I lower that in post, or I'd cut out some of that stuff. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a definitive plan. But when I went in Bentonville, I knew I was going to make an episode, 2 episodes, 3. I don't know, but I want to record everything. So most of the time it's like that. I just put the GoPro on, record. Sometimes, when I'm at the trails, I'll have an idea or something I want to say, and I will throw that in. Other times, I'm just trying to capture everything, and then I'll just figure it out later. And so when I get home and I sit at this computer, I'll look at everything and try to figure out, okay, what's here? What do I have a story?
Yeah.
Do I have something to show? Do I have something different? And just kind of, go through it all and dissect it and start piecing together. I've done a full edit and hated it and scrapped it and started over before. So
this is why I like this kid. It really, you are a storyteller as a filmmaker. And this is why I think your content is great, is because ahead of time, you put the video together, but after watching it where you want to take it, where you want to go. And if it doesn't work out, what editing software do you use? Straight Line?
Yeah. So I use DaVinci Resolve. I love DaVinci Resolve. It's amazing. I mean, you can get it for free, and everything that I do on it, like pretty much everything I do on my videos, you can do with the free version. Now I do have the studio version. Just because I bought it years ago, and it's free upgrades. So I
heard it's incredible. A friend of mine bought a camera and he got it, and I use the Final Cut because I have a Mac here. But he says, dude, it's free and it does everything.
Yes, yeah, it's great software. I've used everything except Avid. I've used Premiere. I've used Final Cut. I've used pretty much everything there is, and with DaVinci Resolve, you just can't go wrong because everything is right in front of you. I can put the footage in, I can edit it, I can go to color, I can color grade it, I can go to audio, finesse my audio tracks, and then go right to exporting it. And so, and I have a everything is already set for me. I have for all my cameras, for the one I'm filming on, which is my Sony. I have a preset color palette for that. For my GoPros, I have a preset color palette for that. For anything. So basically it's just throw it on, done. I don't have to really fool with it. I have presets for all my mics, for my studio mic. Wow. I have, all that stuff ready to go. And that's what I love about that software. And you can do that in other software too, but to me, it's just easier and DaVinci Resolve. And so, love that software. Love, working in that. So yeah.
I've always used Final Cut, Avid, and, at work, we have this thing called Edius, folks. Just don't even. Have you heard of it, Edius?
No,
it's like the Fisher Price, my first editor.
Oh, wow.
It's horrible. I think it's for elementary school kids. Boston Don wants to say, hey, guys.
What's up, Austin Don?
Another podcaster. I don't know if you've seen his stuff.
No, I haven't. I'll have to check it out.
I just started working with Da Vinci. You know, he
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
Come on, Trails
awesome.
and Nails. Kind Master. Get yourself some Da Vinci. It's free.
Well, he's talking about his phone.
Yeah, he's still editing on his phone for his trip.
Yeah.
He's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
On the phone.
I'm looking for a good editor. Like, right. The one I used to have, they killed off. So I'll have to check out Kind Master. Because I'll sometimes will do quick edits, you know, when I'm on location or if I want to throw up a quick story or something like that. And I haven't been doing that, and I kind of want to, but I haven't really done that.
But I've never used Kind Master, but I use for my little shorts and reels and whatnot is a CapCut.
CapCut.
It comes with sound effects, great transitions.
Okay.
Layering video. It's incredible. And it's free.
Nice.
So,
I love that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying for the one thing I've learned about this stuff is like I don't mind paying for it. I don't like subscriptions. I can't stand subscriptions. I don't know. It's like, look, I would pay $50 for an app and be done with it. Like, don't give me this $3.99 a month or whatever. Just I'll pay $50. I'm done. Give me the updates. Done. You know, I don't like that. Like, I'm willing to pay more one time than, and that's what I love about DaVinci Resolve. It's one price, $2.99. You're done. You know, if you buy it, if you buy a camera, it comes free. If you buy one of their cameras.
I hate everything's a subscription now. And I'm afraid to get that app that shows you all your subscriptions and what you're paying. it would be
I've seen those.
Out of control.
Yeah. Totally crazy.
Again, here's where I'm so horrible at this. Folks, I can't even find there it is. So you're riding all over. Look at this. Utah, Deer Valley, Bentonville. When you got bit by, no, wrong button. When you get bit by this bug, now you're traveling all over to just get a taste of different areas other than Tennessee where you're at.
Yeah.
Has it become, I don't even know how to put this, train derailed. It's you got bit. Now you're sick with whatever the bug bit you. And now I want to go all out. Yeah.
It kind of, so you're talking about like,
you're not a weekend, warrior. You're like, let's travel.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's like when you go to these places, does it make coming back? Like, does it feel, I don't want to ride my local trails. I want to go. And yes, it does do that. And I think a couple of times I've warned people like, look, you come here and you're going to hate where you ride, and that's to an extent. I'm very appreciative of my local trails. We here in Middle Tennessee, we don't have, Nashville's in a bowl. And so the outlying areas, are kind of ridge lines. Mm-hmm. We're near the Cumberland Plateau. So we have some elevation, but we don't have like what's in Chattanooga. We don't have what's in Knoxville, or even North Georgia. So, I do travel to those places more often. But I still appreciate my local trails. It's where I started. It's where I learned. And we do have some fun trails and more is coming. So, but once you start traveling, once you start going to the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, you start going to Virginia, which actually I haven't been yet, but I want to. But you start going to Utah, you start going to Bentonville. Yes, it's gonna drive you crazy because you go to these places and you go, like, first of all, most of the time, I can't have this here. Or second of all, why don't we have it where you live? Yeah. So, that starts to eat into you. And so, it kind of, you kind of go, okay, I want to do this more. I want to travel more. Yeah. And you start to find hidden gems and you start to find that there's these different places in different parts of the country, Now I I still can't do it all the time. I can't travel every weekend.
Yeah, family,
I got work, and it's a cost, and it's expense. Yeah. Now that now that I've started to be able to monetize off my channel, my wife's like, okay, that's your bike fund right now, right? And I'm like, I don't make that much, you know. Sorry, 3,000 subscribers is not enough. You know, it's that's pennies. But yeah. So just be warned. Once you start this, yeah, you're kind of hooked by it. You know, I just went to Birmingham. They just opened a new bike park called Ride BHM, and it's a bike park in Birmingham, right next to Oak Mountain, about 30 minutes away from Oak Mountain. And it's a legit bike park, and it's very well done. It's the same people that built Canuga Bike Park, and I've already been twice. We went a couple days before New Year's, and then we went on New Year's Day, literally open up 2023. And so I went twice in 1 week. Nice. And I told, Jason, after we did our live stream, he goes, okay, what are we doing now? We're going to go back to Birmingham. I was like, I can't afford that. I mean, just the cost of, it was, it's like $30, for the pass. And then you got the food. You're going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner while you're down there. Cause for us, it's a 3.5 hour drive. And, it's $40 in fuel. And so it's like, I'm not made of that kind of money. I can't do that, so
the sport starts adding up.
Yeah. So, so yeah, but you do crave that. You do want to do that. You do want to keep doing that. And so
I get the coming back. I'll mountain bike in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and you take a lift up and you don't pedal ever.
Yeah.
Here you pedal, you stop pedaling, you fall over. It's
everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of fun. I mean, there are legit trails in Miami, South Florida. If you ever come here, it's
crazy. You guys got some really good stuff. I've been seeing some videos down there.
Yeah. And then I've been over to the West Coast, and I've ridden I lived in California for a minute. Almost rode I was in Hendersonville 2 years ago for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And the last day I wanted to ride, and the night before that, kind of broke-ish my arm.
Oh no.
So that ruined it, because I've heard so many great stories about the trails in that area.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah, we were talking about wanting to go back. If the weather stays kind of mild here in January, we might do a trip back out to Canuga and Pisgah and stuff like that. Sure. It's ironic, you mentioned Florida trails, like the Alafaya Park. Like, I remember going to Alafaya Park all the time as a kid. There was never any bike trails, none of that was there. But I went all the time. That was like 10 minutes from my house, 10 minutes from where I grew up.
Really?
And so now I started seeing all these videos about, Alafaya Park and the trails there. I'm like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. I've been to Alafaya, I've been to Bomboyette. I've been up to Sanford.
Did you know I lived off of Bomboyette Road?
Really?
Yep. That's where I grew up.
Wow. My buddy lived in Sarasota, and he's taken me to Alafaya and Bomboyette, and
I lived right off of really, really close to Bomboyette Road. Yep.
People talk about South Florida as being flat, and you need to bring your lungs to ride those two trails.
Well, yeah, because everything you got to pedal up.
It's constant up, down, up, down. As soon as you go down, you got to go right back up. It's killing me. Trails and Nails going to Pisgah. So you create this. I'll get this one day, I swear. Has this been a satisfying journey for you? As opposed, your mountain biking journey has been great, but this, I mean, you've blown up. Well over 3,000 subscribers. I mean, has this been a fun journey and not work? Has it been kind of like, this is just playtime and it seems to be working?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's work. Like anything worth doing, it's going to be there's a task to it. There's things you got to think through. There's things you got to conceive. But it's been satisfying, very satisfying. It's been satisfying because it's good to meet people, to engage with a community. It's been great to have new experiences. I can't imagine not doing this now. Like, I can't imagine, first of all, not mountain biking, but even with, the YouTube channel and the social media, like, I can't imagine the world it's opened up for me. I can't, so many people I've met through it. And then just the opportunities, it's brung. And, like even today, like, we did our live stream, and, I've always enjoyed Calorie Kid. I mean, his stuff is amazing.
Forget it. We all know him.
Yeah, we all know. And he chimed in on the live chat today, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is crazy. And then I texted him on Instagram after it was done. I told him I was very thankful. And he's like, he's just chatty. He's like, hey, what's going on? How'd it go? Blah, blah, blah. And so, just things like that. You just go, everybody's legit. Everybody's just cool. And, I saw you had Normal MTBOVER on, and I was like, well, that's so cool that you could do that. Like, I would have never have thought about approaching him and saying, hey, let's talk about something, or let's chat about something, but you can. And that's what's so cool, because, in my line of work, that you just, people and stuff like that, but you don't just always just go up to somebody or approach somebody, or even on social media, go, hey, Tom Cruise, how's it going? What you working on today? Like, you just don't do that.
You bring up that funny part. When I first started this, because I have to approach you guys, and every single one of you I approach the same way. Like, I am a fan of yours. So I am like the guy going back going, Tom Cruise, can you sign this? Whatever. I feel that way. And I've never interviewed Tom Cruise, Will Smith and Hugh Jackman and a bunch of other people. Never Tom Cruise.
Nice.
Anywho, you're right. You feel like, oh my gosh, that's Colorado Kid. That's Normal Mountain Bike. I'm the same way when I go, oh my gosh, that's MTBOVER40 Bobby. But I reach out, and I'm not kidding. I feel this. This is why I have these people on, and you, and is that I'm a fan. And Normal, I met Normal through the segment. Mark Hill. I don't know if you've ever seen the segment. It's another.
I think I've chatted with him a couple of times.
He interviewed me, and
nice.
Nobody wants to hear me talk, so that's why I have you guys on. So
that's not true.
He brought Normal on for 30 seconds. I was like he had 30-second interviews with a bunch of people, and I met Normal, and I'm like, and then afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, thank you for coming on. I met Normal Mountain Biker. He's like, dude, I'm a dude on Instagram. And he goes, if you ever want me on your show, give me a holler.
Nice.
And so awesome. You're right. It's this great community of people that are just like, I'm like, you were riding bikes.
Yeah.
I mean,
we all do the same thing.
People
we all do the same thing. We ride.
Here's somebody who is not on this chat here, but did leave me a DM. Ask him if he thinks the popularity of the last few videos he posted was enhanced by a particular plaid wearing individual.
You got to go plaid. You got to go plaid. I love Brian on a bike. Brian Peterson. He's great. He is great. Yes, actually I do. Cause I mean, he brought the black and white, brought the speed. I love Brian. He's great. No, yeah. I mean, I see, that's the other thing I love. I love meeting people that, like, we only started chatting, via social media, Instagram, that kind of thing. And then, probably about a year later, we're together in Utah, riding bikes together.
Isn't that amazing? Like, I like to, I was a fan of it because he's not a big YouTuber, but he's a big content creator on Instagram and stuff like that. And I reached out, and there he was, and we had some things in common, and it just, this community is so great at doing this.
Yeah.
Question though.
Yeah.
Did you want to at one point steal the plaid shirt from Brian on a bike? Or was there ever a point that he just had like maybe a black t-shirt or a white t-shirt on?
I can't steal the plaid. That I can't wear plaid like that. So I can't, it's got to be him.
It's so great. But again, you're right. I can't, this is again why my mom, She doesn't even know I do this.
Don't say that.
My mom, my wife loves this so much.
Yeah.
She's become like, you saw the comments, she wants her own show.
Nice.
Now I'm going to mess this up. Gosh, just bear with me. With this, you have become, you talk about the community, you're an ambassador for your favorite bike.
Yes. Yeah, that was totally unexpected.
How does something like that come about?
Yeah, I had no idea that was even a thing. I really didn't. I was like, what is that?
Whatever. They give you a sword and they knight you?
They knight you? Sir Marco. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, it was about, I met Norm Nielsen. He's the Fazari race team manager, and he was at Winrock. And he messaged me. He says, "Hey, you going to come out to the Nationals?" And I said, "Well, I wasn't planning on it, but he goes, hey, I'd love to meet you and all that." And so he says, "And bring Jason along with you." I'm like, "Well, okay." Oh. So we come out and we meet Norm, and he goes, "You guys," he goes, "I love what you guys are doing. You both are, I can't believe how quickly you guys have progressed. You guys are riding a lot. You love the bikes. You show them off." He goes, "We want people like you." And I'm like, I don't have a big audience or anything. He goes, no, that doesn't matter. He goes, "We just want people that love to ride and love, to represent the brand." And so I didn't think anything of it, but I just said, okay. And he goes, "Hey, we do, ambassadorships. I'm going to throw you guys' name in. So you might get some emails from so-and-so." And so I was like, okay. A couple months went by, nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, I get messages from Norm and Aaron Tuttle, who's the ambassador president. And he's like, "Hey, you guys are in." And we're like, "What?" What?
You're like, so, what do I get, stickers?
Yeah, I was like, "Well, what is this? What does it mean?" And it was and it's funny. He goes, "Nothing. We just love you, and you can say you're an ambassador and blah blah blah, and you get some free swag and stuff like that." I said, "Do we get discounts on bikes?" He goes, "No." But all that to say is that it didn't matter, because we found, just like with regular mountain biking and regular with the community, with the ambassador program, it's the same thing. It's a bunch of guys from all over the country. Actually, we're kind of international now. I think we got someone in Peru, but everywhere. And it's just another community of riders that love what we do. We love riding Fazaris. We talk about Fazaris, and it's also cool because we're kind of their sounding board for the company. So we are, we feel like we have a voice and saying, this is what we want. This is what we like. This is what we don't like. This is what we'd like to see changed. This is what we'd like to see you adopt. And they listen to us. And so even though it's not like, hey, we get 50% off every bike, it's not like that. But we do get a say into the brand. And,
wow.
And you don't see that.
I thought maybe you got like gear and of course discounts. I never knew what an ambassadorship was. Yeah, it's just a way for you. Yeah, it's just a way you have a say. You have a voice into the community, because they're the ambassadors are just that. It's like, you are the voice for the brand. Like, what you guys say and what you guys put out there and what your feedback you give us, you're representative of our clients, not clients, but our customers. And so they want that and they need that. And so in a way, it's like you're helping the brand grow, not just because, we, show it off, but also because we want to help be that voice for them. And so it's really cool. We had our ambassadorship
back in September. That's what all the Utah videos are for.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. We got to, go to the headquarters, first time going to headquarters, and meeting everybody, meeting the faces behind, the brand, the owner, the marketing manager, all these people that are the hands-on for the bikes, even going back and talking to the guys that put the bikes together and saying, hey, what is this? What are you doing? And then I've got a problem with my bike. Can you fix it? Yeah, bring it up, throw it up in a rack, and they did it right there. I was having a problem with my brake, and he threw it up on the rack, and okay, we got it done, and need a new rotor and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're done, and doing it there at the headquarters. So it's like, whoa, okay. And so, yeah, you feel more a part of the brand, and that you feel like you're doing something to help push it along.
And help the brand grow.
So it's really awesome. I really love those guys, really appreciate them. And, yeah, I mean, and I do love the bikes. I do, now I'm going to be honest and say, I haven't tried a lot of bikes. Like Fazzari was my first full suspension.
Mm-hmm.
I've been, I've kind of expanded with them. Yeah. So I've ridden other bikes, just from friends, that have a Canyon or that have a YT or that, but it's hard because it's like, well, their setup's different. So I can't really say, whether that bike's better or not, but I just love the bike that I've got, and I can tune it. I can feel differences when I do this or when I do that. I've got an ear to the brand when I say, what about this? How does this work? Or, I'm having a problem with this. And another cool thing about Fazzari, which I don't know if any other brand does this, but this is open to all customers, but you have a direct text message link to them. You get a number, you can text them and say, hey, I'm messing with this. I've got a problem with this. What do I do? And text them, and they reply. And
I've heard that about Fazzari, is that you're not just buying the bike, you're buying into the customer service is like very above, second to none.
Yep. Yeah, their customer service, and like I said, I have not experienced with other brands. I'm sure other brands are great. I know other people that love Common Saw. I know other people that love Trek. I know other people that love Specialized. All those, I'm sure there's no problem with any of those bikes, and so, but, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel great about this company. I feel at home. I feel I'm listened to. I feel like I'm a part of the team, not just because I'm an ambassador, but I was treated this way even before I was an ambassador. So, I love the brand. I want to see them grow. I want to see them expand. I want to see them, they're not a major player, as far as, they're not in local bike shops. They're competing with other brands for the online market space, so, I'm sure it's tough, but I think they're starting to get noticed. They're starting to show up in all these reviews, YouTube reviews. I know Lone Wolf has done it. Pink Bike has done it.
Tons of Fazzari stuff.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Brian on a bike and E&G MTB, and people, they get their Fazzaris and they're like you, they're brand loyal.
Yeah.
And usually people are, but it's great to get a bike and I'm hoping I'll become a YT guy. That's the funny about the online thing. That was always my thing, is I was like in a car, like you want to step on that gas, you want to feel the gears. And now I used to be like that. Let me sit on it. Let me feel it.
Yeah.
Now I'm buying a bike on recommendations and reviews on, Pink Bike and all this other stuff on YouTube. And so.
Yeah, it's hard. And I get it. I get it for people who like, nah, I'm never doing that. I want to feel it, sit on it. I want to do all that. But honestly, it's like, well, okay, you go to your local bike shop and you sit on a bike. That's not how you're going to ride it.
I'm going to have you ride too. And also you put me on a bike, I'll ride it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, not tooting horns or anything. I'm very mediocre. I'm a very decent rider, but it's one of those, I'll figure it out. Yeah. I'll get on there.
Well, and it's like, well, like in today's time, like really it's, understanding the kinematics, understand the geometry, like most modern bikes these days, it's very hard to have a bad experience. And what's great about Fazari also is like, you got 30 days. I mean, you got 30 days to ride it and you can send it back on their dime.
That's amazing. I saw that. Like usually you can return a bike.
Yeah.
If it's not ridden.
Yeah.
Fazari, you can ride it for 30 days and dirt and whatnot. Oh,
abuse it, use it. Yeah. And you can just package it back up, send it right back. So, you can't go wrong. I mean, what bike? I mean, you can't do that with a bike shop. You can't, buy a bike and go ride it for 30 days and send it back. I don't think so. So
also you're an ambassador for GoPro, or are you still?
Yep.
What other ambassador? Let's just get it out. Let's just put it on the table, man.
Yeah, so it's Fazari, GoPro, and Magura.
Okay, there you go.
I used to be for Gravity Cartel, but it didn't get renewed last year. And it's a renewal thing. It's part of the program. You apply for it. Magura or Gravity Cartel, which is Spank and IXS. I don't even know if they extended their program last year, so maybe that's why I didn't get renewed. Okay. But yeah, it's more of you kind of apply for it, and they just look at what you're doing. Obviously, they want to know that you're promoting them. They want to know that you're talking about them, and you've got a channel and you got some way to talk about it. So obviously that, but I mean, even back then last year, like I didn't have much of a following. I didn't have anything. And they still accepted me. So
you're telling me like I am going to get this. I want to touch the one that's on our screen.
Getting kind of low there.
Okay. I'm wrapping it.
No. That's not why I did it. That's not why I did it.
So you're telling me this happened fairly soon? Like you had the 3,000?
Well, I hit 1,000 subscribers back. I want to say it was either July or August. I can't remember. But yeah, look at it. That took me almost 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers, and then all of a sudden I tripled it by the end of the year. So
fantastic.
So I don't know what happened. Well, I know one of the videos. I think my one of the videos, the jumping video, the stand up to the jump, which I was talking about, with the technique that the lone wolf put out there. That all of a sudden blew up. And so I got a lot of subscriptions based on those views. But it kept, it hasn't. I mean, it's slowed down, but it hasn't like stopped. So I was used to getting like only a few subscribers every week, and then now I'm getting a few subscribers every day. So
does standing up to jump really work? 86,000 views.
Yeah.
When you
look at all the others, they're like 1,000, a couple hundred.
I gotta ask you this because I'm just a little over a year here, and I'm horrible at this. So I get views, but when you get 86,000 views, does that just blow your mind?
It was crazy because I was on the film. We were doing the film, so I wasn't really doing hardly any social media. I wasn't doing any episodes. I was too busy, and so I wasn't really looking at anything until I just every now and then I'd peek at, hey, what I check YouTube mainly just because if anybody leaves comments on videos, I like to reply as soon as possible. Yeah. So but it was taking me longer. It was like every few days, I was able to get on, and then I was just seeing like for all of a sudden I was like seeing all the subscribers go up. I'm like, well, what's going on? What did I do? And then I looked at some of the analytics. I'm like, wow, this one video is it's like hundreds, if not thousands a day.
Wow.
And for several days, for like almost like, I don't know, it was like a couple of weeks, it kept going.
Holy cow.
And I was getting all these responses, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And I hadn't replied, and I couldn't because it's like I was busy, and it's like, what is? So yeah, it kind of took me by surprise, and I didn't know why. I still don't understand why that happened. It's just the algorithm, I guess. Something stuck with the algorithm. But
That's
you know,
great.
and it's like that with some of the shorts I do. Some of the shorts I post, and it's like a short I did a couple of days ago, like instantly went to 1,500 views. And I'm like, what? I just posted this like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm still
I don't
learning
understand
this. It is a thing. Someone actually sent me today some key things to know how to post, because I'll do a short or something on Instagram and I'll get what I think was a great piece or
Right.
whatever. And, you know, I'll get 100 and some odd views. And then another day I'll post something that's not as good, but
Right.
at a different time. And I get like, you know, a few thousand views.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah. I don't, some of this stuff I don't understand.
Very
Often
weird.
I thought, you know, if I did something about gear, like that's one thing I've noticed, like anytime I talk about gear, nobody watches it. If you look at most videos, the only thing of gear that a lot of people tune into was the handlebar video review. Other than that, like anytime I've talked about my GoPro setup, anytime I'm talking about, you know, stuff I'm wearing, anytime I've talked any of that stuff, nobody really watches that stuff.
I really like those because I'm kind of a, you know.
Yeah, I'll keep doing them. But it's only like, again, I only do episodes based on what I feel like this was helpful for me. This might be helpful for you.
Oh,
And
you do it for you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, why not?
I'm doing this for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I always say this. I would like the subscribers because I don't want you to feel like you're wasting your time.
No,
but
this is fun.
Here you go. My wife wants to know, probably for me, what content do most people respond to? The riding? People like riding.
Honestly, like anything new, like any new places, like the places I go. And I think that's, you know, the Bentonville video did well. Utah videos do okay. It did, you know, the first Utah video did pretty well. But anything new that I'm doing seems like that's what the Canuga video did really well. So, and I think that's what catapulted me to go, okay, what's the next step? You know, what's the next iteration of all this? And so to me, that's what I feel like people respond to most. I think for a couple of reasons. One is like it's somewhere that most people don't get to go to, or anytime you see someone post about Whistler, I mean, it blows up, you know, almost always. But you know, there's a lot of Whistler videos out there, you know.
Yeah.
So I think when you talk about a new bike park, or when you talk about some place that people may not know as well, or it's a
popular, like you talk about Bentonville, I'm sure like people just
right.
like seeing that place. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of Bentonville videos, but I did it from a perspective of, hey, this is my first time.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what to expect. I guarantee if I did another video about Bentonville and said, this is my second time going to Bentonville, I guarantee there's not going to be as many views. You know? No. Maybe if I'm writing better, I don't know, but you know,
you're doing very good in 2 years, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm going to start winding it down.
Yeah.
Being someone a little bit older than you, but you're just kind of like peeking over, getting close to 50.
Mm-hmm.
Wife and friends going, you do YouTube? I mean, do you get that response? I feel like I get that response. Like,
my wife did at first.
And does she respond to it well now? Now that she's seen you got traction?
Yeah, I think she's okay with it. Maybe because I can monetize off of it now. Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, it was I got that at first, and it was kind of weird to say. And for a while there, I really didn't say much about it. Because I was like,
my thing.
Yeah, it's more of my thing. It wasn't for every, you know, I didn't know if it'd be for everybody else. But as I, as the subscriber rate got it going, and as people started leaving comments and positive comments and saying, you know, I love this, I want you to keep doing it. That's fuel to keep going. And then I said, well, maybe this is a value. And so I kind of started to disregard. I don't consider myself a YouTuber at all. I don't plan on making this my full-time gig.
Yeah.
This is more of just a kind of a side thing. But there is a means to an end for it. And so that, to me, that's what it is. It's a launching pad for what's next. And so when that'll happen, I don't know. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, I'm a producer. I'm a producer director, and developing content is what I love to do.
Yeah.
On all levels. And so to me, this is just one of those things. Just one of the things I do. And so,
it's funny that you say that, is because you need that creative outlet, and whether you're doing it professionally or not. I do, filming and whatnot as a living, but I was a movie critic, entertainment reporter, part-time from that. And COVID came and kicked the movies away.
Yeah.
And I had been doing it for over 20 years. And I was like, what can I need that outlet.
Yeah.
And it's funny that like during COVID, I started watching mountain bike YouTube, because down here you couldn't mountain bike. All the parks were closed.
Right.
Because they're run by the city and/or county.
Okay.
So I got addicted to watching guys like you riding, or guys like this kid, the segment, Mark Hill. Just
hey, Mark. What's up, Mark?
Mark's he's the best. He's one of these people that you talk about becoming a friend through all this, is that Mark Hill has been kind of a mentor and a dear friend.
That's awesome.
It's just really amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes, you are late. You are on time for the moment. So, but again, without talking about what was it, Guatemala?
Yeah.
Guatemala. Hold on. Break time.
Brian tuned in.
We've already talked about you for quite a bit, mister. You're in trouble, by the way. Don't watch in about an hour and 26 minutes in. This may be one of my longest podcasts, by the way, because you are fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. This has been fun.
But other than Guadalajara,
Guatemala.
Just kidding. What can we expect for MTB over 40? What else you got going on?
Man, it's always a journey. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I love it. I never really plan. I mean, other than the bigger things I'm planning on coming up. I mean, these are things that are going to be in the works for a little bit. But I mean, it's all about what we're going to be, where we're going to go, and what I really want to start thinking about is, I mean, not just about bringing people along on what I'm doing, but also like, how is it relatable? How is it relatable to you as a viewer, as someone in a similar situation? And that's why I kind of show everything that's going on. Like when I wrecked, I showed it. Like, this is what happened. This is what it did. And I'm injured. It's put me out for, 6 weeks. I can't ride, that kind of thing. As far as like, what am I going to, what's the next destination? What am I going to do? Man, I've got lots of stuff. Like I said, I just upgraded my LaSalle Peak. It's got the new frame. I'm anxious to break that in. So I know it's going to be probably one or two places. Either I'm going to Windrock, which I've only been once. So I'm anxious to go back and ride that gnarly stuff. It's scary fun. Or it's going to be Jared's place, which I've already been once. But great bike park. Any of that stuff, it's probably going to be one of those two places I go back to, and it's probably going to be soon, most likely this month. So I'm going to be breaking that in, talking about that. And then, I kind of just let things happen the way they're going to happen.
You've got, your plan is to just keep moving on, to keep doing what you're doing, having fun. It's a journey.
Yep.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's always the journey with this kid, guys. I love it. It's like, come along with me if you want. And I guarantee if you do, you're going to have a great time. Mr. Yates, hello. Peeking in for a moment. Uncaged. Nice. We got the West Coasters coming in now.
Oh yeah, they're just done with dinner.
Yeah, they had dinner. They're having fun. You know, they spent time with the kid. What is it? It's like 2:00 in the afternoon from them over there.
Close. It's like 6. It's just right after dinner time. Yeah.
Bobby, I can't thank you enough. This has been, again, it's been like an hour and 50 minutes, but it is going by so smoothly because you are so good in front of a camera. And you're well spoken. I mean, you make this guy look good. I just go hi. And then he was gone, and I loved it.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Johnny. Thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. I love talking about all this stuff with you, and yeah, man, I wish you all the best on the channel. I think you got a great thing going. Keep it up. I'm look forward to seeing what happens in the future. Don't worry, man. Look at my earlier videos. They're yeah.
I don't want to leave it on a sour note, bad note. Thank you, folks. Like and subscribe to his stuff too. I've put it all down there. Get it. If you're not subscribed, do it. Watch all his stuff. Not a sad note, not a bad note. My best friend passed away, and I'd like to dedicate this podcast to him. He was my riding buddy. And again, don't want to bring it sour or sad. That's what I meant. It's sad. So dude, thank you so much for making this podcast incredible.
Well, I'm very, very thankful, very humbled. Thank you.
Now go get your bikes dirty, folks. And I think